is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now it's Stafford. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Third and long, it's Stafford. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with a running back. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Right. What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
Right back to him on 1st down. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. They'll run it now out of the gun, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Play action now. Mariota. Throw left side, complete to QT. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They tick out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. A great play there with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the 2nd most in a single year. And the Pats have taken the early lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, Beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
On second down, here's Stafford. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Stafford looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. This is Ajayi. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Here we go. Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Stafford now to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Here's Matt Hawk now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And they're just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Second down, Mariota. He's going to air one out. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Mariota dancing to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Fielded just inside the 20. How did he stay on his feet? And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Meanwhile, checking in on what's going on in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens that have moved down to an early advantage. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. To throw is Stafford. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was trying to get that one to Kenny Stills. That'll bring up second down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. Bobby McCain here, the one who brings him down.
When we see those runs to the edge.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 6 to start things out. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And they'll run it here. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's done. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
The reception good for 7. It's third down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting them in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Play fake. Mariota. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say that. Moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
I'm impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken.
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
To throw on second down is Stafford. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Ajayi. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Throwing on third down, Stafford drops it off to Ajayi. And running with power here. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
He's going to, and Stills has got it. Touchdown, Miami. Kenny Stills, his second touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins able to get this back within a touchdown. And partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
That time a 6-play drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. That'll be taken in the end zone. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Patriot offense heading back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And they will be in the playoffs as champs of the AFC East. But as it stands now, Charles, they'd still have to host a game on Wild Card Weekend because they're looking up at slots 1 and 2.
Well, when the season began, they said, let's win our division first.
That's right.
That's the bottom line that gets you into the playoffs or the tournament, as a lot of the guys like to call it. So they're in. They'll host that first round, and then they'll see where it goes from there. But bottom line, as always, get into the playoffs and take your chances from there.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory right at the 40. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. Open man is QT, complete. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. 23 yards on the play.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. To throw Mariota. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Now they'll run it on the toss. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Yeah, and how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Philip Dorsett, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead. The point after try for Gostkowski.
Now that touchdown won't allow you to totally relax, but you...
Oh, this is blocked. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with it?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. They went backwards 5 yards there on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Here's Matt Hawk now. He's been terrific so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Taking it about the 16. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Very good starting position for the Patriot offense as they come up 1st and 10. From the gun, Mariota. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. On 2nd down, Mariota again. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the 1st half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. The final shot before the break, Stafford. And incomplete, an excellent play downfield. Should have been picked off, really. But 2nd down instead. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. The final shot before break. Stafford. Floating one, incomplete. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. So here we go for half number 2. The Patriots with the lead, and they will be getting the football. Fielded about a yard deep. And an alley to run. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he's got this down to the 35. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Patriot 1st down.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
He's going to get it running right. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
you're 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Mariota now. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. As his guys are in for 6, and the Patriots add on to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game being on second half no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Extra point good by Gostkowski. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know in the half they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Here's Stafford. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ken Crawley. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Following the interception here, Mariota. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Marcus Mariota with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Pats take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the second extra point he's missed so far. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
You ready? 180.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage would be found.
To throw on third down, Stafford, and that is incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. This is taken at about the 14.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big gain of 38 there on 3rd down.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch, and it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does the defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
On 3rd down, Mariota. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with it.
And out come the Dolphins now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. It's a big play here for the Dolphins on 3rd. 48 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Throwing to Stafford. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. That's going to be caught. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Mike Gesicki, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. And around the goal line, especially on two-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Right 5-1.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Barthema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go larga. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. On play action, Mariota rolling to his left. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for New England. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Good drive last time, really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in there.
The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number.
Looking for Stills here, and it's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48, and they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. Now that's a gain of 6 on the first down run. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
It'll be a Patriot first down on a pickup of 16.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Open space inside the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. A great effort there with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the forced turnover on defense leads to 6 points. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC.
4 down. Set.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
They run with a Johnny. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to make it 4th down. They run for it with a Johnny. Muscles him off. Now he goes spin, and he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Patriots take over, and they're going to have terrific field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Elsewhere, 4th quarter score now from Baltimore. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. If they can hold on, the win would be number 8 for them on the campaign. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes.
Let's go.
And they take a knee. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. And they will take a knee here. Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Patriots, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves.